High-profile Network 10 presenters kerri-anne, Natasha Belling, Tim Bailey and Mike Larkin are understood to be among those who've lost their jobs as part of a cost-cutting program inside the broadcaster's news division. 10 announced the changes, which will result in its Brisbane, Perth and Adelaide news bulletins being anchored from Sydney and Melbourne, in an all-staff email shortly before 1 p.m. on Tuesday. These painful changes reflect the state of the media industry in recent years and the need for all media companies to achieve new efficiencies, said 10's Director of News Content, Ross Duggan. From Monday, September 14, newsreader Sandra Sully will present a 90-minute bulletin at 5 p.m. to viewers in Sydney, Brisbane and Perth, while Jennifer Keat will anchor a combined Melbourne and Adelaide bulletin. Panel show The Project and 10's National Weekend News, hosted by Chris Bath, are unaffected. Local weather presenters will be replaced by a national meteorologist, but 10 will continue employing reporters, news crews and operations staff in every city, allowing state-specific coverage to be inserted into each bulletin. Those understood to be leaving the network include Studio 10 co-hosts kerri-anne and Natasha Belling, Brisbane newsreader Georgina Lewis and weather presenter Josh Holt, Adelaide newsreader Rebecca Morse, weather presenter Kate Freebairn and sports anchor Will Goodings, Perth newsreader Monica Coase and weather presenter Michael Schultz, Sydney weather presenter Tim Bailey and Melbourne weather presenter Mike Larkin. Matt Burke will anchor sports coverage in Sydney, Brisbane and Perth, while Stephen Quartermain will present sport in Melbourne and Adelaide. Sports reporters Jonathan Williams in Brisbane and Tim Gossage in Perth will take on expanded roles. While we're centralising the presentation of our news in Sydney and Melbourne, we're still committed to local coverage, said a source, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorised to make public comments. The source said it was too early to estimate the total number of job losses. In addition to retrenching high-profile presenters, 10 will offer a small number of voluntary redundancies to other news staff. As with most major media organizations, 10's ratings have grown substantially during the global coronavirus pandemic. Weeknight metropolitan news audiences have climbed by 10% this year compared with the same period in 2019, while the weeknight and Sunday editions of The Project are up by 24%. But the pandemic's broader economic shocks triggered a 22% slump in commercial TV advertising revenue in the first half of this year compared to the same period last year, according to industry body Think TV. The changes we're making are not just a result of COVID-19, said the Network 10 source. All media companies have been looking at their cost base over the past 5 to 10 years to find savings, and we're no different. Among other media outlets that have cut jobs or reduced employees' working hours this year are 7, Foxtel, Southern Cross Austereo, Australian Radio Network, and Bauer Media. The decision to make these changes was a very difficult one, and I want to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to our friends and colleagues who will leave the network, Mr. Duggan said. It is in no way a reflection of their talent, contribution or passion. They are exceptionally gifted people. We are incredibly proud of them and their work. There is no doubt they will be missed. In 2017, Network 10 entered voluntary administration. Later that year, U.S. broadcaster CBS, which has since re-merged with Viacom, acquired the network. In previous years, 10's Adelaide News was presented from its Melbourne studios while its Perth bulletin was helmed in Sydney. These arrangements ended in 2011. On Tuesday, entertainment reporter Peter Ford tweeted, "Just spoke to Kerri on the golf course. She's sad for others but totally accepts the brutal realities of the industry and will finish in a few weeks. Was told face to face this morning. No anger and no bitch equals." Beverly McGarvey, Chief Content Officer and Executive Vice President of Viacom CBS Australia and New Zealand, said, "These decisions are not being made lightly, however, they are essential to future-proofing our business." 9 is the owner of this masthead,